tell you what.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Chondro Lounge. I am your host, Chuck. Lucas is not with me tonight. He's going to be taking this episode and at least the next episode off. I want to congratulate him. He just had a beautiful little baby girl. Hope all is well. I know that mama's healthy, baby's healthy, and that's really all that matters. So everyone, then send your thoughts. And, if you guys want to congratulate Lucas, feel free to do that. I'm sure he would appreciate it. I'm excited about today's episode. We got Steve Fleming from Anubis Reptiles. And, man, I followed his page for a while and, never really reached out to Steve. And he's followed me for a while. He's never really reached out to me. And, by the grace of God and the show, I was able to contact him. And, man, the first time I talked to him, it was like a 2-hour phone conversation I had with him. He's a great guy. Man, I can't speak highly enough about just the short interactions I've had with him. So I'm super excited for y'all to meet him and get to know him. He's a real good dude. And he just had his first clutch last year, and they are absolute killers. They're awesome animals. Talking to him on the phone, it's like talking to a seasoned breeder. He's got his shit dialed in, really good at what he does, very knowledgeable, passionate about the animals. So I know this is going to be a really good episode. I know Lucas is going to be a little bit jealous, and we're probably going to have to do a part 2 sooner than later, because Lucas is going to want to get in and on episode and pick Steve's brain. So I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Jordan, over at Hearland Reptiles. His enclosures are next level. They are this aluminum that is powder coated, and now he's starting to do different colors and stuff. And I'm not sure of the process, but he's like CNCing or lasering or something along those lines. His logo's into them. I wanted to reach out, see if maybe he could do my logo on like a lime green one or something crazy. So reach out to Jordan if you're looking for some new enclosures. I know that he has some really unique green tree specific sizes. Mark Hager over at Texas Chondros has outfitted his entire new facility with them. So if you want to go check that out, I know Mark has posted them numerous times, and they're impressive. So, and Jordan's a great guy, and Jordan's willing to work with you. So give him a shout and tell him we sent you. He's a good dude. And we thank him for his sponsorship. Adler Romero over at AE Foundry does a great job with all of our production stuff. And I just wanted to give him a shout out too as well. He's a great guy, good person to have on your side. If you ever need any logo designs or any sort of production work for any, podcasters or anything, hit up Adler. But without further ado, I want to bring on our guest and my new friend, Steve.
Whether you've poured your heart and soul into your reptile business or you've just begun your business journey, AE Foundry has you covered with next-level expertise in graphic design, motion graphics, videography, photography, and so much more. If you've been dying for a new logo for your reptile business, motion graphics for your current logo, a new website, or need assistance making your video podcast come to life, then listen carefully. AE Foundry's mission places storytelling at its core. AE Foundry believes that a distinctive story and background are the driving forces that set your brand apart. In today's market, consumers seek more than just products. They crave a connection built on trust with the brands they cherish. AE Foundry is committed to empowering small businesses and fostering authenticity that resonates with their consumers. Reach out to them and let them help you craft a visual narrative that helps establish a genuine and lasting connection with your audience. To contact AE Foundry, email them at aromero@aefoundry.com or on Instagram at AE Foundry.
What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, baby.
I've been looking forward to this all day, man.
Me too.
I was sweating it out. I didn't think I was going to make it with my, my accountant misscheduling and pushing me back 3 hours today, but it worked out.
Yeah, it's all good.
How's your day so far? I know you're 3 hours behind me, so I'm the man for the future.
Yeah, no, it's actually, it's California, man. What can you complain about? It's sunny. It's like right now it's like 78 degrees, almost 80 degrees. I mean, shit, this is California living. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Pay up the ass for it, but it is what
Yeah,
it is.
man, is that a Focus 6 in the back, the Hanger 6?
Yeah, it's a Hanger 6. Yeah, that was one of my very, very first purchases I got from Focus Cube. So when I first started my collection, I didn't really need any cages or anything like that. So I had like 4 snakes that I had purchased and had them in the hanger. It does well. I have 4 in them right now. I have 4 of the pretty well. Next month there'll be yearlings from the clutch from last year, so I have them all in there, and they're looking beautiful. But 2 of them are already sold to a gentleman. I'm just waiting until things get warmed up for them, so and then ship those out.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
I didn't realize they were that old already. God.
yeah, they're yearlings. They're gonna be yearlings coming in 420 of all days when they when the clutch came out. It was crazy because sometimes I can be a night owl, and I knew she was like doing something in there, and I think I had been like drinking or something. I don't know what the fuck it was doing, and half asleep and shit, and went in there, and then of course it's like your first clutch. It's like what the fuck you do if your wife goes into labor. It's kind of like one of those things, and I'm like
Yeah.
calling my wife. My wife's like, but but yeah, when she had the clutch in there, I was in complete like panic mode, and but she did good. So, but yeah, they're yearlings now, man. They're amazing. Let me know if I'll pull some of them out so you can take a look at them closer.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do that at the end. Let's make them wait.
Okay.
Let's make everybody wait. That one you have, oh my goodness, it's got it's like Hershey's chocolate brown with the yellow diamonds
Yeah,
and the
with the
black
big,
dorsal. Man, that thing
yeah,
is it's interesting. It's like almost military looking. I like it. It's nice.
yeah. That was the first one to poke its head out, believe it or not. But that was the one that also, like, so like when you know how like everyone when you have to candle an egg, right?
Mm,
But no one ever tells you like, hey, if you're going to grab as soon as your female like lays, you probably won't see the embryo probably doesn't start, it doesn't float up yet or any place, right? So because the eggs haven't set long enough.
right.
So um, that one, I had no idea. It was the whole, pretty much the most of them, but I had no idea. But I knew that I had kind of like the ones where I had used a different marker on them because I
Mm,
couldn't tell whether. And there was a couple, maybe like 4 that probably the first 4 that she had actually laid that I could see and when I candled them. But that was the one, and when they popped its head out, I was like, it can't be that dark. And then it kept coming out, and I was like, wow, it was like really, really dark, and it's still dark. And imagine its OCC is going to take a long time, but it's starting a little bit. But it's a pretty snake. It's definitely one of my favorites out of the 2. But both of them, I can't really say. I mean, they're both nice. The 2 that I held back. So
yeah, it's you got that wow factor when you have a baby pop out that's just vibrant, right? And
yeah,
screaming colors everywhere. But there's a different wow factor when you pop out the ones that you popped out, and they're just like drab, but they're drab brown or black, and you're like, oh my God, what is that?
Yeah, I know. And, because of the clutch, right? Like, you don't know if you're going to have, you know, um, a red dominant clutch.
Mhm.
And, that like my sire came from a red dominant clutch, and parents are both red dominant. But the female that I have came from a mix of yellow and reds, but she was red herself. And out of my personal opinion, she was probably one of the prettiest out of the clutch.
Yeah,
Um,
I haven't seen the rest of the clutch, but she's incredible. I mean, so is the male. They look identical. They look like the exact same snake almost.
yeah, I know they absolutely do. But if you can get really really close to the sire, he has like speckles of blue in him from his dad, of
Ah,
course,
yeah,
right?
that's neat.
So,
Why don't you touch on the lineages if you don't mind, of the sire and the dam of your clutch as well? Because I don't even know. I know one of them who he came from, and I like Garrick a lot.
yeah. So the female Skemet is she's a high yellow female, and I got her from lottery, and
Okay.
and I really got to throw a kind of a shot to Sock, because that was one of my first purchases was from a snake, and I was really getting into it. And Socrates, I called him, and I was like, "Hey, this snake," and he was like, "Get it," and I was like, "Okay," and he pretty much, told me, "Hey, reds are the babies to go to, and
Mhm.
yellows." So I always kind of say that, Sock kind of gave me kind of like the your undergrad education of about snakes, right? He's really, I mean, the guy
He's
is
such a
like
good guy, man. I talk
he
to him. I love him, dude. I love him like a brother. I really do. He's such a good dude. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no,
Shout out
he
to
is.
Socrates, man. I love him.
Yeah, but his knowledge is, pretty in depth. And
Mhm.
so, so she came from, the sire was Blizzard, from what Lottery had. It was a 2006 Bushmaster Mano, which was a really pretty snake.
Was
Had some
that I'm so
blue,
was that the male that had the really nice blue dorsal?
yeah, had some blue in it.
Mhm.
Really nice snake. And then of course the dam, which was Storm, it was a 2014, and it was an undocumented Biak female, and she had that kind of like black inner. I don't know if it was from like UV or I don't know what, but real pretty female. But
Mm.
unfortunately, that she passed after having that clutch, which you got to feel bad for Sabrina, because she produced an amazing clutch. Regardless, all those snakes I think came out really pretty. Every once in a while, you'll see someone with that same um, from the same lineage or whatever, and she did. I mean, in terms of high yellow, I mean they're high yellow.
It's a
Um,
very distinct phenotype. It's very recognizable. You can almost guess
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, you can guess it. So, and then that produced my female Skemet, and then the male, which is from my dude, my best friend Garrick, and
Shout out to Garrick.
he,
I love Garrick, man.
oh man, love Garrick,
Good
and
breeder, good dude.
yeah, so that's from the House of Blue, for those who don't know, and but that was from Blue Moon. So my sire's from Blue Moon and Ivy, and Ivy in herself has a real interesting story. Just to kind of tell you a little bit about the Garrick as a breeder, and as a he pretty much brought that Ivy from literally like from death. right? To just, imagine a real unhealthy snake that he acquired and then brought it back to health. And then now I think she's probably had two, maybe three clutches right now. And so that's so Ivy and Blue Moon. That's the pairing that I got, which produced Set, which is my male. And so that combo with my first litter was a Womania times Biak times Manaquari times Biak. So it has, it has the chance to produce, I'm really interested to see how the babies grow. It has a chance to do all kind of things. But that was the fun part of the project was like, you don't really know what you're going to get because of course you got the Biak side of it and you got it times, but then you have the Highlandy type animals in it. So,
that's the best part. That's the best. We were just talking about that. Was it yesterday or the day before? The fact that, that's what made me fall in love with them even more than just liking them. Falling in love with them was just teaching me to be, number one, be more patient. Number two, just be happy with what you get. And you don't know what you're going to get. That's the surprise when they turn is just so rewarding.
Yeah. It's,
especially when it's yours. Like when you made it and you start to see it, you're like, wow, this is neat.
Yeah. I know a lot of people said, they're like, why did you sell off so many? And,
you saw that? Listen, I never pass an opportunity to check that out, bro.
So, and so she got me flustered now. Shit.
Yeah. Joe, you made him lose his train of thought too.
And what was I fucking saying?
I have no idea what you were saying. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. Can you get me a beer, please? I have no idea.
Yeah, no. So people are asking me why did I sell some, sell a lot of them off. But my goal was like, yeah, I was gonna probably keep three of them for sure. But another guy really wanted one really bad, so I sold one of my holdbacks. But yeah, so I kept the two that I really didn't want to let go of the third one, but he bought a couple, so I was like, okay. And when especially since you're starting off, you want to you kind of want to get your name out there, and but my main goal was like share the the kind of like the collective of what I was able to produce, but also give which I know is to be really fresh blood, genetically wise, fresh, right? It's not an inbred line, and sometimes to get a fresh genetic snake, but also potentially has really good phenotype, can do amazing to someone's clutch. I mean, to their line, So
yeah, and you know what? Honestly, Steve, and I don't really talk shit on people on the show. However, the people that do have an opinion about what you do with your collection need to maybe focus on what they're doing with their collection. That's just my opinion. Stop telling people what to do with their snakes. That's just,
yeah.
I hate people that have more of an opinion than you do about what you do with your animals. You made them, as long as they're in good care.
Yeah, what's
it matter?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. So, but yeah, I'm now I'm gonna repeat pair. I mean, I've had enough people, say like, hey, how come you didn't do it this year? And because I was concentrating on something else. But I'm going to do it this year because I have enough enough people are like, hey, can you do it again? So, I'm going to do it again for everybody. So hopefully, I think I should, the snakes are pretty much both young. And so first shot on, I was our first litter. I mean, I'm sorry, our first clutch. And, and it was his first. And I think he was about 3 years old. So Seth was kind of more of a younger male, but he's a big boy, but that's the biak in him. So
Yeah, you believe it or not, I mean, looking at your page, I'm always lurking, and with your clutch, you've achieved what I want to do, what my long-term goal is. And that's to prove to people that you can take locality crosses and make shit that looks better than designers.
yeah, you can. I mean,
I'm not coming at anybody. I love designers, but I hate the people that say that localities can't be as nice as designers. Because look at your sire and your dam, and anyone I challenge you, go to his page, find me designers that look better than that pair.
Yeah, I mean,
They're locality crosses, and they're
yeah,
amazing, bro.
they're
They're
amazing
incredible.
animals. Like, if I pulled him out right now, if you see him right now, you'd just be like, okay, like,
You can't. I mean,
know,
if you want to pull him out, absolutely. I
yeah,
mean, I ain't gonna turn down the offer.
With shitty light and everything.
By the way, Lucas, I'm sorry. Lucas calls this going rogue with Chuck. This is not a structured episode. This is just a sit down talk with friends. And that's how I'm going to keep my episodes that I'm running by myself. I got a lot of positive feedback from the one I had with Sal from the UK. And I think they're a little bit more enjoyable, guys. Crack open the drink. God, look at that.
So you can see his blue dorsal. Let me see if I can get his head out.
That's a beautiful animal, man. That is unbelievable.
And believe it or not, Garrick always teases me. He's like, yeah, I want it back.
Locality cross, people. Take notes. That's what happens when you know what you're doing. Garrick's got it figured out, man. He is making some unbelievable stuff with locality crosses. He really is.
And he's one of my like pretty perches. I call him the typical green tree perch, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the one behind me, this one, it's hunting. All it does is hunt. Mm-hmm. That's from my first clutch. It doesn't perch ever. That's beautiful, dude. I'd love that snake.
So yeah, he's a dream. Like he's one of the guys where it's kind of like out of most of my snakes, I just I can pull them out and just let him crawl around me, And he's not the one that kind of like as he crawls, he won't poop on you. So
it's never something I don't think we've ever spoke about this in the podcast. Can you just tell people what you just did with your hands after you handled one of your snakes?
Oh, so
sanitize.
I have sanitized. So I have alcohol wipes like everywhere. And mainly because one, if you touch a perch, obviously, sometimes, you don't know what fecal matter is on it. So and I do chew. So I put my hands, with tobacco, but also mainly I like to clean my hands because I don't want to cross contaminate. So like right now, as of today, right, like, I wash my hands thoroughly and, alcohol and like, I don't know if you can hear my hands. Since my hands used to be kind of soft, but since I've had green trees, they get really dry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like to keep my hands, clean and before I pull out a baby, or stuff like that. Typically, I like to go baby. I work my way in terms of of cross contamination, right? So I know babies are fresh, right? And and so like what I like to do is I like to handle the babies first, like when I'm doing like a water change. So I deal with babies first, and then I go by age. So younger snake, you know, to older snake, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just because, you know, even though I test every 3 months, my clutch, um, but you never know what's going to pop up. And so, especially when you're breeding, because the stressors on the snake, so something that you may have tested for came back negative, but then it can pop up, and
Yep.
so, but
And we're
like you know,
talking. He's talking about nidovirus testing
yes,
specifically with
for
oral
now,
swabs.
yeah,
And honestly, Steve, if you don't mind, it's kind of boring, but I don't think we've ever touched on sanitizing in between animals. So that was a. I love that you go from the youngest to the oldest. It's typically what I do. From the youngest clutch, and then I'm not. It depends on who I'm going from and going to, whether I'm using hand sanitizer or I have like these the airplane little spritzers that you like the airplane bottles that you
yeah,
put like hairspray in. I
yeah,
fill it up with 90% alcohol and just hose my hands down. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And if I do that, and then I get it's pink chlorhexidine surgical scrub. Do you ever see that? It's in
yeah,
like it's like the seafoam green bottle and it's red. And you could I go up to my elbows if I'm going from one adult to another adult and I'm in there and I'm changing waters, or if I'm going from the displays or I'll go upstairs with the babies. I work my way down. Like you said, I'm not going to explain what my order is, but I have that order that you're
yeah,
talking about. And
yeah,
if I got to go from like my quarantine and then shit, something pops up and I got to go back in the main room, taking all my clothes off and I get in the shower
yeah, yeah.
and I'm taking a quick shower.
Yeah, I know. The the main person who kind of taught me it was Garrick. Garrick is um, well, Garrick is pretty much giving me, I gotta throw a real shout out to Garrick because Garrick is really giving me my PhD and you know, and what I do. So um, everything that I know for the better part, and like I said, I'm probably, in my first year, second year, maybe in my PhD level, but with the guy, what he knows, I'm still picking his brain all the time about certain things. But yeah, he's the one that really taught me about moving from younger to older. But I also have OCD, so like just keeping my hands clean in general. So I'm like you, I mean, I wipe with alcohol, which is 90% these wipes, and then I go hit the
Could you
have
show the
the
viewers the brand while you're talking? Could you show and it's for me too.
yeah.
Yeah, let's turn
So
this into a little bit of a an educational episode because I don't think we've ever really touched on this. Yeah, guys, I use their surgical scrub that you can use chlorhexidine that is pink, that is for scrubbing your skin, and then you have the blue stuff that you would use inside with the animals. I know Steve and me spoke on the phone, both use F10 sanitizer. I have that. Bleach solution works great. Look
yeah,
up the dilution rate. I mean, if you're going to do a deep clean, do not spray bleach water inside of an enclosure with a snake. Chlorhexidine F10 is a little bit more safe, but still be cognizant of that. But go ahead, Steve. What do you got for your wipes? Because that's interesting. I actually like that better than I would like a hand sanitizer because it's more of an abrasive, and that cloth would probably be better for any sort of virus
yeah.
on your skin.
So
or
there's
bacteria.
just basic wipes, like just antiseptic hand wipes,
Oh, get out! Where you get them from?
from Amazon.
Are they fairly inexpensive?
Yeah, yeah, they're fairly expensive. I mean, consider regularly. I mean, I buy a big box of it, but when you're, when you start dumping the amount of money that all of us have in this, collection, and just to think that really, let's just say a wipe is hell. Let's just say one of these wipes were 25 cents a
Hmm.
wipe, right? But then yet you spent hell $4,000 or $5,000 for an animal, right?
Yeah.
For some folks, and that snake ends up getting sick, and heavens forbid that it passed away. But you know what I'm saying? Is 25 cents worth it? You know?
Yeah, and you know what, Steve, and you're good with it. And the reason why you're successful is I tell everybody, anybody can breed green tree pythons. Anyone can do it, but not everyone's built for it. It takes a special person, has a very specific characteristic that if you're very good paying attention to detail.
Yeah.
And
So and then I had, sorry to cut you off, but then
no, you're good.
So then I also have like, your basic, like, gel, that I also use. And I go through this, like I can go through one of these bottles every maybe 2.5 weeks. So I go about a bottle, 2 bottles a month easily with that. So, but yeah, oh, go ahead, Chuck.
No, I was going to interrupt you, but no, go ahead. You're not done your thought. I was going to say, I burn through rubber gloves.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll do that like when I'm like doing like when I know when I gotta go in there and clean poop. I do go in with like gloves and my doggy bag. Like I have from Amazon, I get like the doggy bags, and so I put glove. I said I'm OCD. It's probably unnecessary. Garrick makes fun of me all the time.
Hey, listen, dude, overkill works.
Yeah,
he can't be too safe.
Yeah, he teases me all the time, but I have gloves on, and then I get my doggy bag, and just like you about to go pick up your dog's poop outside, and then I, get and then I, after every poop I do a deep clean. So, so for me, it's like every two days I do a water change, and the water change I have stainless steel water bowls, and so here's the people can make fun of me all they want, but it's cool. But so when I get the water bowls, I take them out, and then I F10 them, and I get alcohol wipe, and I wipe it down, and then I go back in, I grab, after I grab all of them, and then I put all of them into the dishwasher on so they can get completely sanitized. And then after that, and then I put the water bowls back in, and then any animal that may have took a crap in there, then I clean the cage, F10 it, and then I have a mister that I can also use. If and I do that, I deep clean once a month each cage.
Okay, your adults and your neos and your juveniles, everybody gets it.
Everybody gets a deep clean.
Okay.
Their cages once a month, but just perches, everything. Everything gets kind of a deep clean. Just just trying to keep as much as possible, but it's just one of those habits that I have. I'm a kind of a repetitious type person, so I started it. I guess I kind of freaked myself out reading about Nido, and so I pretty much just said, okay, this is like a surgery kind of thing. So
what it is, honestly, and I mean, I talking to you on the phone, the short time we talk, I know I ain't gonna hurt your feelings because I'm the same type of person. You know what we are? We're fucking weird.
Yeah.
But that's why we're able to experience success because we are consistently paranoid. Chondro keepers are germaphobes. We are petrified. And that's because and the reason we think we're better than everybody else because we're just the higher class is because our animals are so much more sensitive. They require so much more attentiveness. We're not pumping them out in the factory. I mean, keeping them, it's kind of easy. They set it and forget it. But setting it's not easy in itself because you're down to a half of a degree. You're moving a probe an inch down when you're setting up new enclosures. You're paranoid about what they might get their face caught on with certain perches, in certain perch mounts, and certain enclosures. It is nerve-wracking. I drive myself up a wall every single time I set up a new enclosure or something that's foreign to me, because I think about every little bullshit thing that these snakes are going to do, because they're not smart.
No,
they're
not.
pretty, but they're kind of dumb. So like
that is the truth.
right? Like they're dumb. They're not smart. So they're eat, mate, sleep, poop. That's what they are. and then they sit there the rest of the time in a corner.
Yeah, I just call them. They're just eye candy. You know, I mean, they're just basic eye candy. You know,
They're living art. They're living art.
Yeah.
And as crazy as it sounds, we get our temperatures so perfect to the point where we make our snake sit in the middle, only halfway under the panel at the perfect temp, so that it centers itself in the enclosure.
Yeah. Like I said, I probably take it to the like level, but at the same time though, like crazy enough, like to me, it's almost relaxing, you know, like when I come into, the snake room in here, like, everyone knows it's just kind of like, all right, this is my little area, and, and I clean and, I do what I need to do, and, I put some music on and, next thing you know, I look down and it's like, it could be 3 hours, my wife is like, don't go in there, because she knows like I'll find something to do, and she's right, like I'll find something to do,
Yeah, it's rewarding, man. When you walk in that room and you have a bunch, hey baby, you can go talk to mama. Sorry, that was my oldest. God, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so when you walk in there and it smells like shrimp and you're like, oh my God, who took a dump? Because the baby's poop smells terrible.
Terrible.
And you go in there and everyone pooped and there's some smeared on a perch. Man, you're like, all right, you turn the Alexa on or throw your earbuds in and just, it's it's crazy to say, but when you're cleaning your animals, it is relaxing. And then you're done. You're all cleaned up, all your workstation's done. I put my little work table away. I'll go in there and open all of them again and just see them all clean. And it's just so satisfying to me.
Yeah.
New waters, they look good, they're happy. And then I go mist everybody down. I'm like, yeah, man, like the whole collection's clean. Like I just knocked out 27 babies. Like, what the heck, dude? I'm tired. It's 4 hours later, 6 hours later.
Yeah. It is. I mean, to me, it's like I said, I mean, it's a hobby, but then it becomes a passion, and then once it becomes a passion, then it's like a drug, you're addicted to it.
It's a labor of love, man. It is. The amount of happiness I get when I'm done cleaning my animals and I get to sit down here and see that and appreciate them, or you get to sit in your room, look at them and just sip on a drink and just listen to some good music and just be left alone. God, it's so peaceful. It really is. It's just, it keeps you out of trouble, like you don't want to argue with anybody. You're not mad. You're just happy.
You're just happy. Yeah. I'm kind of jealous of your little, like how you got your little setup, like you got,
oh, thank you.
You got your TV, you got, my wife says stay over there, and I got them in a little office, which eventually we're going to have to spread. So, some snakes are going to be going upstairs right now, like I have, the yearlings over here, but, as, the kids start to branch off, which I already have one that's pretty much out the house. And then, one of his bedroom will probably go into, because I can't change the other 2 guest rooms, and my daughter's here too. So his room would probably go into like the baby room. So, and, because I have the incubator in there right now, but, so that eventually will move. And then I'll probably get, from Focus, I'll probably get put something on top of because they have the new one from Focus where you can put, for babies, like the little tubs, the little, that attach to that. So, you know, because you know you can have them double stacked.
Yeah,
On the side.
yeah.
Yeah. So they have it to where you can get, you know, another 6, or you can have, I think, I don't know, it's like 3 rows, maybe 12 or something like that. So
What's up, baby? Give me a second. Sorry. What's up?
I'm getting mommy bought some ducks tomorrow, and one of my friends are giving me ducks because I gave them some of my ducks.
Nice. Give me a kiss. Good night. I love you, baby. I'll see you in the morning, okay?
Okay. They wanted to get the ducks from them.
Okay.
One more else.
Good night. I love you.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you gotta
Yeah.
enjoy that age, man.
Yeah. I love those kids, man. They're a copy of my wife. I'm a very blessed individual. I could tell you that, man.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. Back to the snakes. So Focus, good stuff. Focus is real good stuff. I have found I'm falling in love with Jordan stuff. Jordan stuff's good shit. It's very it was foreign to me at first, but I'm getting used to it. It's good stuff. I didn't like dislike it. It was I know I told you, I just, you know, because of my career, I like to be in control.
Yeah.
So when I got that and it's new, it was just, I have everything dialed in. I'm like, okay, I got to learn this thing. And I started looking, I'm like, wow, like it was actually really nice. It's solid. Like it's really, it's well built. The glass doors slide great. It's assembled. It's a one-piece enclosure.
Oh, really?
You don't put it together. It's a solid piece of aluminum. It's like bent, riveted together. It's nice and it's thick. The powder coat's decent on it. Now he's getting new powder coat colors. He's starting to explore with, I don't know what he's using to cut or laser or whatever, but he's cutting his logo into them. So I would imagine, how hard would it be to upload another logo? I don't know that he can do that, but I'm sure that it is possible.
Yeah, sure it is.
But he's in the very, you know, he's still in the early stages. He's just starting to like deck his stuff out. Like, and he's moving quick. Like it was just overnight. He's like, hey, you know, I started this. I feel like it was only, you know, a year ago, but I think it was like 2 years ago. And they're like indestructible. He like does all this crazy shit, like beats him up and throws him and stuff or something like that. It's wild.
Really? I have to check him out then.
Yeah, Mark Hager just did his entire room with them. And what the best part about him is, I like, not to talk bad about Focus or Toad Ranch. These are Toad Ranch. I like the PVCs, but this border, you lose a lot of viewing when they built it, because it's a frame around it, because it's not a super rigid material. But what Jordan uses, dude, his lips like that, so the whole entire front's open. They look like Pedro's enclosures from
oh, really?
Dude, it's wide open. It's the lip is so tiny, and that, like, when I got it in person, I was like, oh shit, that's cool. So now I don't have to like peer around like that 2-inch lip or that 4-inch lip, whatever that is. It's just the whole cage is just open.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, it was foreign to me at first, and now I've fallen in love with it, and now I got to figure out how to get more from them.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna have to check them out then.
Yeah. You know? And it's cool. I think the one I have from him right now is a 30-18-18. So it's perfect size.
Oh yeah, I think 30-18-18. Yeah, that's that. Those are.
It's a good dimension for someone who's limited on space. It can't fit the 3x2x2s. And as little as it sounds, that's 6 inches on each dimension or in each measurement, you know, height, width, and depth. It makes a difference and the snakes, it doesn't matter with the snakes. There's no extra utilization. I mean, how big are these animals really? What female is really going to need 3x2x2 other than something that's really massive? I mean, there's a lot of guys breeding Justin Cambers, adults. That's all they keep them in.
Yeah.
David Brahms is a perfect example.
Yeah, he is. He does. I know he does breed in those too. I mean, he does excellent. You know, I got a lot. I mean, all my purchases are from him. So.
Yeah, and I'm not talking shit about 3x2x2s. I think it's a great enclosure to have if you have the room. It's pretty. They're big. It's great for the snake. I mean, the bigger the better. but you don't need that other than in certain, instances. But yeah, that 30-18-18 is almost like that perfect size where anything can live in it. Adult male, adult female, and it don't eat up too much room. And they, when they're together, it's like, it's not super thick. Like the aluminum, because it's so much more rigid and so much stronger, it doesn't have to be a half-inch thick.
Yeah.
So now you don't have.
How's it work? How's it, do with keeping the heat does well, right?
So it's aluminum. There's some vents in the back, and I'm playing with some things because it's different. So everything has to be perfect. So I'm running tests. I had a 28 watt in there, and it worked well. But the way I am is I rather have a 40 that works less, harder than a 28 that doesn't. And Reptile Basics is out of everything right now, so I can't order another 40. I had 2 40s that I just put in my 2-foot cubes upstairs, but they were already it was already pretty much in. Like the power cords around. All I had to do was just shoot screws up in there, and they were done. I'm waiting on the 40s to be back available. I was thinking about calling Pro Products, honestly, because it's a white powder coat. So the black panel in the white enclosure might not look great. That's why I don't put Pro Products panels in my PVC enclosures, because I prefer it to look a little aesthetically pleasing to me. Plus, I've never had an issue with the Reptile Basics stuff. I've thought about the Wilbanks, and for some reason, have you seen those UK ones being available on Amazon? Reptirad?
I have seen them.
I just stumbled across that, and I just don't know how you feel about it, because they're not cheap.
No.
So if I'm gonna spend that money on buying Pro Products or trying a Wilbanks.
Yeah. I use black box cages.
Okay.
And
I've heard decent things about them.
Yeah. I haven't. I mean, they're the PVCs, and mine's are 3 by 18. So a little
nice.
more on the length, but 18 high and 18 in depth. Just to give them a little bit more. But I'm able, because of that extra, because it's 18. I'm able to stack 4. Like I have right here, which you can't see. I have 4 stacked, right? And I have, I think I have about 9-foot ceilings. So I know if I had that extra, and I know I'm tall, I'm 6'5", but if they were, 3 by 2 by, 3 by 2 by 2s, I mean, I don't think I could actually see, I would probably have to get a step ladder, just because I'm trying to use all the space, right? I'm trying to go up, if, just stack cages. So, and that's one of them right there, which you can partly see. So, I mean, it's basic. It's not really no thrills, no frills kind of a thing, but gets the job done from, but, and they were just a little bit more, on the cost effective side, because when I started, when I was purchasing a lot of things, I was purchasing a lot of snakes, and then, of course you got your wife, and how that goes. And so it was like, I wanted to get a lot of the focus cubes, because I think, some of their stuff is amazing. And of course, Will Bank stuff is, come on, that's like riding in a Cadillac with some of those too.
Have you used the Wilbanks panels?
I have. I've actually had a cage from Will Banks before. I had one of his bigger enclosures to when I had my retic. I had a retic python, believe it or not, in there, and that cage was amazing. I'm upset that I actually got rid of it, because she passed away. But I would have loved. I wish I would have kept that in storage someplace. But that cage was amazing. But the resale on it, hey, I got a pretty good price for a used cage. It's like,
yeah.
So
now, I'm looking back and I see the blue screen. So I know you got a herp stat on that hanger 6 there. Are you what kind of thermostats you using? I'm a herp stat guy. I got a bunch of them, but I'm mainly all herp stats.
I'm all herb stat Wi-Fi. So like,
Okay, I hate the spider webs. I can't figure it out. I'm an idiot.
yeah, I'm a spiderweb guy. I got them all. So when I'm on my phone, I look at them and I can see my temps at all time. Like, just to kind of see, kind of like, okay, where is anything going? Especially, when I decide to in breeding, so I can keep, because I like the temp drop. My so
If you want to go right into, how you prepare your animals or how you adjust temps or feeding or whatever, if you want to go right into breeding, you could tie it together if you'd like.
yeah. So for me, like with my first clutch, so because I can only talk about the first clutch. So what I did was right around the winter time when it starts to get cold around here. I like with my vent right here because see everything's in the office and so we have the heater, but I try and keep this room cool. So I have like this metal thing that hooks up to the and it blocks the air, and then of course I have them closed. And so the room in here gets kind of cold, and then I keep the window a little bit cracked also. But I start to lower my temperatures a little bit, just slightly, not enough because don't want to shock them, right? As much.
And if you could tell us if you have a season or not.
In California, we don't have a season like everyone else. Like it goes from like hot to cold, and it's not even really cold. I mean, for us, for Californians, yeah, it's cold. So if you're saying like, hey, it gets into the 50s, that's cold, right? I know you get ready to laugh, but our winters, and then all of a sudden it could be December, and then next you know it spikes and it's like freaking 80 degrees. Like we've had 80-degree Christmases out here. So
wow,
yeah. But so I use the spider webs just so I can slowly till I get to around. I usually keep them to where I get them around, depending on what action am I getting, right? So I usually have them pretty much in a range when I'm not breeding to like to the cool side. Well, at night drop it's around 82-ish, 83, and then during the day it goes up to about 85, right? And so then when I'm breeding, I start to slowly drop from that night drop. I start probably around October. So like as things like around the fall, I'll start to try to drop it just maybe a degree until I can get down to about into the 79-ish, right?
Yeah. So just to clarify for everybody who are not breeders, I would guess that you're not touching daytime temperatures, and nighttime temperatures the only ones that you are fiddling with, and you're dropping the temperatures only at night during night drop. And can you give us intervals of you've given us the 1 degree drop? What's your interval? Is it every week? Is it every 5 days? Until you get to your desired temp?
No, because I like to. I'm trying to pretty much start pairing in around like November, right? So in the beginning of fall. So I'm dropping every 2 weeks or just whenever it just kind of like, oh shit, I need to drop, right? Like I need to start doing the night drops, right? But I keep you're right. Like I do keep my day temp at, at 85. So it's, it's more of a bigger sway than when you're not, doing breeding season. But so when it gets around, like I said, around 79 or maybe 78, but mainly around like 79, I put them in, and I put my males in during the day. So during midday, I put them in.
Can you walk us through the introduction process? Because I've had a female bite a male in the face. So to prevent that to our viewers, I would like for you to explain, if you don't mind, the exact way that you introduce them, because I have my own method, but I'd love to hear yours.
So what I do is, especially with females, right? Because during that time too, you can some females are very food aggressive, right?
Especially when the temps drop, yeah.
Is when the temps start to drop, right? And it depends on if you're food cycling or if you're not, right? Or however however breeders, there's no right, no wrong way. It's just, you have to learn from what I'm learning right now. You have to learn the female. That's the most important part. You need to learn the female. Each female has its own characteristic. So, like, for example,
listen up, people.
I have, this is my notes. Let me see if so like, for example, I keep detailed notes on a good pairing or on a bad pairing, right? Like if, so like, right. So I'm learning all the characteristics of what of a female, right? And, so I can kind of figure out, what she's doing. And so, but when I introduce, and this is from, School of Garrick, who taught me, is, always kind of like miss a little bit the female, because it kind of disinterests her, right? If you ever see a snake, and it's like sometimes you don't want to get bit, and people have their own approach, which is fine, but I do this. It's like sometimes like you necessarily want to pull a female out, but you want to grab a water bowl, but your hand, and you may be doing a cleaning or something a little bit later in the day, but male and female, they're a little bit active. So I always have like a little water bottle, and I just a quick little spurt of water to kind of disinterest her from, or him from, trying to take my hand off. But so like with a female, I kind of do that just to kind of disinterest her, and then I get the male, and depending on where the female is, so if she's on the left or right side, I never ever, and I don't think it's a good idea to put a male on the same side where the female is, right? So I put them from opposite sides, and then I let the male go in there, and that first introduction, or when I'm our introduction and introducing, I kind of sit and monitor for a little bit, just to make sure, the female doesn't go absolutely, biting and stuff like that.
In person or via Wi-Fi camera?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I do both.
What kind of Wi-Fi cameras? I use Wise.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Good stuff. Do you have the ones that are like two little blocks that looks like a little droid and you can move it around and stuff?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Continue. Sorry. I like to give people like just product recommendations, just because it's so hard to listen to the
Find
episode.
Good stuff.
Yeah. There's anything that has 4 reptiles written on the label is going to be 4 times the price of the stuff we're using.
And those cameras are what, like $25?
I think that the Pan V3s or something like that, the best ones that are, I don't know, $30-$40 for the panning ones.
Yeah.
And it's 20 for the stationary cubes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like $40 and versus.
And bro, they're clear as hell.
Oh yeah. And it has night vision. So
dude, the night vision is crisp. You could see every scale. I love them. But
so,
go ahead.
Yeah. So, and then, I just kind of monitor, and then, and then they're in there. But then, once the male kind of starts to cruise, because, when they're in there, they start to cruise. Obviously, he's smelling her, and, occasionally you will get a little bit of, resistance, because he's trying to pin her, And, right now she may not be like, hey, okay, just give me a second to get warmed up here. You just,
Hmm.
but yeah, so, and that's just basically, and I'm usually, I've kind of, I'm, as long as they're locking and like locking for, I don't know, 6, 7 days, if, like I leave them in there, right? Once the male becomes kind of disinterested, then I remove them to give both of them a break.
Mm. Are you
Sometimes,
feeding the female at that time? Are you increasing meal frequency?
yeah, I have. I have with the first clutch when I took the male out, I gave her a jumbo mouse, right?
Hmm.
Um, and mainly, my philosophy behind it is that um, you know, it helps build with calcium. Whether or not
Hmm.
that's right or wrong, but who knows? I don't know. Um, you know, I, I would feed, and especially if it's been a long, like, period, when they've been in there and locking and stuff like that. I kind of give her a mouse, but then it also tells me too, if, when I'm also doing that, if she becomes disinterested in food too, like, hey,
Yep.
hey, that's a telltale sign. So, but this year I was trying to pair my one, my blue stuff, but I wasn't, successful uh, with that one, which is the second year in a row. And I'm still trying to figure out this female, but I'm thinking she is maybe a summer. So I'm gonna try later on this year in during the summer. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm still new, so I'm not very good at looking and see kind of like maybe I'm missing follicles. Like I know like some of these females get super boom, right?
Mm.
But if I pulled her out, right, and you see how big she is, right, and she's a solid snake. I mean, she's about 1,000 grams. She's not fat,
Yeah, it's
right?
a big animal.
But she's
Yeah,
a
especially a proportionate animal that's not overweight. That's a large animal. And her head
she's a
has to be
large.
huge.
Oh yeah, she's the one that out of all of these snakes, and I have a rattlesnake, right? I just recently
Mhm.
purchased a rattlesnake. She's the one that kind of like, okay, I'm coming. Let's just get along, right? She's very food aggressive. Um, but I can pull her out and see her. She's gorgeous. So I'll tell you a little bit about her bloodline because she's special.
Okay.
Um, so I got her from um, TSK, and her name is Isis. That's the snake, and her bloodline is special. So if you ever seen Arctic Blue, um,
It,
Arctic Blue was a it was a wild caught cyclops, and he was powder blue and white. Okay, and Arctic Blue times Jade, which was a Kirk Mill female. Um, that was a pairing, but and then it produced so Arctic Blue times Jade produce Arctic Blue's daughter. Okay, TSK then paired Arctic Blue daughter back to Arctic Blue, which then produce Isis, my female. Okay, and I'll pull her out so everyone can kind of.
Now, while he's doing that, I really don't got nothing. Let's just wait. It's been a long day. While you're pulling her out, if you can still hear me, how many animals do you have in your collection?
So 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 green trees and 1 rattlesnake.
Wow, she is nice. Oh, wow. She's got like that blue wash with the green diamonds on the back. I love that look.
And obviously the camera's not really picking up, but if you go to my webpage, you can actually see the real color of her.
Yeah, plug that right now, by the way, on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, it's just Anubis Reptile.
Spelled like it is on the screen.
Spelled like how it is on the screen. So you can kind of see how big she is. So she's a big girl.
She is a beautiful. I probably look stupid because I'm staring at her right now, so I'm not paying attention to how my face looks.
And she has this, what I like about her, right there on top of her head, she has that ink dye. If you can see it on her.
Oh, on the back of her neck. I can see it on the back of her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I've heard of the ink spot. Who that was? It Garrick that talks about the ink spot?
Yeah, he does talk about it a lot.
And what is it an indicator for, or what animals is it typically found on? Is it calico line animals?
Fuck if I know. You know,
I don't know either. I don't know designers.
That dude he's special. I mean, he's kind of a nerd. So in a good way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a good dude, man. He's young too. Very knowledgeable, man. And I like it because when you talk to him, a lot of the information that he relays to you isn't regurgitated from what he's heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's his own findings and experience, and it's very unique information when you talk to Garrick on the phone or in a private setting. I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of aha moments talking to him, and I've made him explain things further because he obviously has a tremendous amount of success, and I respect the shit out of him. He's a good breeder. He's a good person. He's definitely not somebody that that brags or thinks he's better than anyone else. He's just I love Garrick so much because I kind of have the same mentality he is he's only in competition with who he was yesterday, and I like that about him a lot. And people like that are very successful. So seeing his personality and the type of person he is, and I see that in you too. In the short time that we've known each other, is just you don't give two shits what other people say, think, or you're just enjoying the animals and you're doing what you want to do with your animals, and it's good by the animals. And the people that are getting your animals are lucky because they're getting from a good person, a good keeper, a good breeder.
And I'm like, this is my collection. I mean, it's tiny. I mean, that was part of the reason why I was at TSK. I to answer. And I think, I always question like, should I actually answer or whatever? But because it's come up so much, I am going to kind of address it. So, people can stop bugging me because they're like, okay, well, how come I got my collection? Or, how come you got that animal? This and that. And the best way I can answer that to anyone is just that, it's a labor of love, right? And there's guys like with like Marshall, right? Great dude, and and he's trying to I mean, I don't know how many years he's been trying to chase the albino side of with the green trees.
Well,
it's a labor of
Versace's over 20.
Yeah, and he's over 20, right? So it's like it's a labor of love. And, I would believe that, after, once, he would like to give those animals to people who, will do well by him, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes dealing with someone who has a tiny collection that can give a lot, that's all I got. Like really, like three of my adult males, right? I have two males from Chuck Vogel, and believe it or not, I actually got uh, his only holdback from his alien line. I got a male, which the alien male is who I've been trying to pair Isis to. He's in shed right now. So, and of course, the alien male, the alien bloodline, which was, you know, if if you've been in the game for a while, everybody knows it's kind of one of those legendary lines. Um, so that was, that pairing was Blue Boy, who Dave D has, and still going strong. Blue Boy is still pumping blue snakes out. So his blue in him and what he's passing along has been long and profitable.
Mhm.
So Chuck paired a yellow rose, which was Kofi, I believe, and because that's what Chuck pretty much is what he deals with the Kofi, which is a very, if you want to test your patience with green trees, Kofi, go ahead, have at it.
Mhm.
So I've been trying to, because Blue Boy's still around, but Yellow Rose isn't around anymore, and Arctic Blue is not around anymore. And I know there's other snakes out there, but to put that combination together, right?
Yeah.
So
And you got it.
and I have it. I
Yeah.
just haven't been successful, but I'm gonna try and try and try and try, and if I can get one clutch out of it, I would be a happy man, and I would say, okay, if I didn't have another clutch, which that's not the case, but I would say, yay, but it's definitely a good one. So,
Which brings us to one of, like, we're starting to wind down there. We're starting to hit time, but which brings us to a great, part of the wrap up questions is, what is your goal? Because you got some killer stuff and you have everything from sledgehammer, just designers, down to unbelievable locality crosses that are producing animals that rival some designers or most. What is Anubis Reptiles? What are you going to do in the future where you're like, you know what? This is it. And I am happy and nothing else ever needs to happen. Is it that clutch?
no, it's not. It that would just be, that's a personal goal for me, right? Whether it happens or not, and everyone else is like, oh, I don't care. It's just a
They,
personal goal for me.
they could
You
kick
know what I'm
rocks,
saying?
bro. They could kick
Yeah.
rocks.
For me, it's just, I think that line, and because, you know, that particularly cannot be produced anymore, because there's two sides of, there's, you know, uh, Arctic Blue is no longer, so it's not like he can produce anything.
Mhm.
But to capture two, if you would say, big like name brand, right? That's like basically if Kobe, and to me, it's like if Kobe and Shaq had a baby kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those megastar type pairings, right? But for me, that would be killer, right? But then yet, in my collection, though, I have stuff that that I've gotten from Garrick at the House of Blues, where it's like, I have another female in here, and I think I recently took a picture of her on my Instagram page, and I'm gonna breed her this year. She's coming of age, and I mean, she is a stunner. She's a stunner. But my goal is to produce healthy, good blood, and and to pass the love. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm I would feel excited. I feel happy that, especially after my first clutch, the people that I've been able to pass that along to, they're excited. And the gentleman who I'm holding these two yearlings for, I mean, he can't he wishes that like hell we actually potentially did have global warming, because he wants the snake so bad.
Right.
He wants both of them so bad, and one of them recently, it's the one that you punch yourself in the kind of like, it started kind of like OCCing with a bunch of blue in it, so go figure.
Hey, man, but I think we talked about that. Like, you made it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you made it. And you got the ingredients and the recipe to make the same cake, bro.
Same thing. And
Yep.
and like I said, I mean, it could be
And they're young, right? They're young animals, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very young. I mean, she's very young. Like she's what? She's a 2019 animal.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking
She's young. Yeah, she's young, and she had her first clutch at 4. So, yeah, it to me, it's just spread the love. Like there's a very good well. Like I may actually do with this if I pair them again. Unless there's just something in there that I can't let go, right? But I may do just what the mayor does, like what Bill Siegel does. It may be a whole clutch where I may let him go, not because just I know that I have other stuff that I want to pair and see, but also because I kind of want to keep my collection a little bit intimate, but at the same time I just want to spread the love, and because I think we talked about this too, it's just who knows when they're going to basically shut the shit down from imports.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be really imperative that keepers that started off in the game like me, who become older, to start spitting knowledge, but then the person that you may be mentoring, you know what I'm saying, you may say, hey, I may need something back from you, kind of a thing. And we may all, instead of like this sometimes inner fighting that people have at times, it's just like, what happens when they do shut it down? Then we're really going to depend on each other if we want to keep our hobby alive, and if we want to keep good blood flowing, right? So
Yep. I'll tell you what, though, man. I mean, you can either concur or have a different opinion. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I really do believe, my personal opinion, the green tree python community is all the people that are here that matter, the people that have produced animals. There's 98% not infighting. Like there's not a lot of assholes. Everybody is willing to, volunteer information, work with each other, swap, put their bloodlines in other collections, and vice versa. I mean, they're good people.
The successful breeders and those that, yeah, because they understand it, right? They understand that, they know what it takes in a sense. But a lot of the other stuff is where I and I've the hater side of things that especially maybe because my name is not really that big yet, and or whatever, but which it doesn't just water off my back, but a lot of successful breeders, like I can tell you right now, right, I've reached out to Socrates, Rich Culver, Greg Maxwell, had Dave D, Bill Siegel, Pat Holmes, of course my main guy Garrett, me and you kind of like recently touched out. You know, like those are just some of the you know, and I know I'm probably forgetting a lot of people, but you know, some other people, but you talking about, you know, those names, you know, Garrick, you know, Pat, you know, Bill, Dave, Rich, Greg, um, like, and Sock, like those are like, you know, those are kind of like some, but every last one of them have set aside an hour or two and talked to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
And and that's the beauty, right? So
it is. And you know why you know why that is? It's not why I think that is. You know why that is? Because you don't just put them together and get babies in X amount of days.
mm-mm.
Everyone has been drugged through shit breeding these things, and we all know how hard it is. And we all know what it's like to lose an animal, and it sucks when that happens. And you know, and not, you know, leave the dollar amount of that are on these animals aside. They're your pets, man.
Yeah, they are.
We call them animals, chondros, this, that, male, female. They're our pets.
Yeah, they are.
So
And
it hurt.
it does somewhat hurt a little bit, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say it hurts, but it's just like, you know, it's that annoyance where it's just like, bro, you know, there's other things in here, you know, like let's just learn from it, you know. So
Oh yeah, you're talking about the haters talking shit, like having an opinion about what you do. Like
yeah,
I mean, I don't want to say it, like, but STFU, like, go pound sand. How about you breed a couple clutches and then come back and talk to us, and then we'll tell you what to do with your snakes and see how you
yeah,
react. Come on,
yeah,
man. Like,
yeah,
don't bring
and
that shit in this hobby. And those people won't last because they'll never be able to breed them. Because if they're
yeah,
too worried about your collection, they're not focusing on theirs.
yeah. And you know, I did a you know, a podcast with with Bill, and Bill, he's amazing too. But you know, I was on high, you know, because I had my first clutch and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, you know, he said, yeah, we're gonna see, like, you know, but not in a bad way. He was just like, yeah, you know, when you have those fight and those unsuccessful ones, right? Well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those, you know, he's like, that's gonna bring you to another level, Steve. You know, just, you know, how you basically, you know, go through and manage that, right? And you know, and if he's listening, like, hey, you know, that my clutch that I was just excited about, it didn't happen, but I'm not quitting in it, you know, like it's gonna happen, you know. You know, I just, like I said, I just got to figure her out. I still have to continue my education. You know, like it's, you know, these, you know, there's no formula until someone can actually, remember I told you, until someone can figure out how to do, you know, IV, you know, in vitro with, you know,
Yeah.
with one of these fucking snakes, then, you know, hey, but until then, you know, you're at the mercy of two animals, and
Oh yeah.
just sit back and enjoy it, man. That's the thrill of it.
Oh hell yeah. Um, let's see. We're nearing about time, but are you
You
will I be
want
able to
Let me show you
well,
those babies?
oh yeah. I was gonna ask you, yeah, grab them out, but are you going to Bills this year or what?
Uh, Depends on my what my schedule is. My daughter, she's pretty heavy into soccer,
Okay.
so
Yeah, it'll
you
be
know,
it's in the first week of September if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it all depends on what she's doing.
But yeah, I'd like to friggin', you know, crack a couple beers with you, hang out. I mean, shit, dude. You're 6'5". I'm just gonna jump on you when I see you. I can fit in your pocket. I'm the size, I'm the Garrick size, bro. I'm fun size, man.
Hey, Garrett is getting yoked, by the way.
What
He's
was
up
that?
all in.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw his
He's up
arms
in
the
the
other day.
gym.
I was like,
You
yeah,
see
I
him
was
in the
like,
gym. He's like, and you know, and I'm like, bro, you know, I don't have much of a belly, but I'm like, look, bro, you need to get like, you know, a dad bod going, because the dad bod
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, I just recently lost a bunch of weight, not even trying. And I was like, my wife's looking at me. She's like, oh my goodness. She's like, your jeans don't fit no more. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Garrick's Me and Garrick are about the same size, I think. But yeah, he's bigger than me now. He's working out. I'm like, damn, look at that guy's arms. Oh my god. Is that chocolate brown one I was talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I'm not as handsome as Lucas, but I think I could still do what he does. Hold on. I don't know how to do this. That shit. That's not it. That's not it. This is where I screw it all up. Lucas is gonna fire me. I'm sorry, guys. This will
That's
probably be
all
the
good.
last episode I do. That kind of works.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so dumb. I'm taking myself out. Just show it. Ready?
Can you see it? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's the baby.
You couldn't hear anything I was saying, could you?
No, I couldn't.
Oh,
That's all good.
yeah, sorry. I was saying, where's that other one? Sorry about that. That was I was talking the whole time. There's one on your Instagram that has which one is it? Let's see. It says hold back, and was that it? This one?
Yes,
that-
that was it.
Yeah, that thing is
Yep, that's and
so
it's
it went from
since
black.
been-
It went from black to brown.
yeah, it went from black to being chocolatey, and then I have another one that was black, and I think is it a little more darker.
What's 1023? Is that even an ID number?
So
Oh.
it's 420. So 4.20.24-8 are is a holdback. 4.20.24-5 is a holdback.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 5's pretty decent. Oh my god, the variability in the clutch. I mean, you have killer reds, and then the killer. They're not even reds. They're like brown or black. They're unbelievable, man. And the fact that they came from two animals that were yellow is well, excuse me, they're yellow adults. They were red babies, but still, it's just unbelievable that the color palette is all over the place.
So here you go on this one.
Oh, let me bring that up. All right, you're not gonna be able to hear me, but I'm gonna remove my. Steve, that thing's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. You're working with some good stuff over there, man. And you're a good guy, you know what I mean? You're down to earth. You're not loud, outspoken, cocky, none of that stuff, man. You kind of just keep to yourself in the community, and you're the type of people that we need in this community. We need more like you, educated, smart, and just not an asshole, really.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's a heck of a compliment, huh? Hey, Steve, I like it. You are not an asshole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I can't be though. I can be an asshole.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully I don't, but yeah,
No.
I haven't seen it. I've had nothing but positive conversation with you so far, man. I'd like you sparked my interest. again, I mean, I'm obsessed with the Egyptian culture. I used to be, and man, we were elbow deep last night on Netflix, and my wife's obsessed with it too. She
Oh,
went, yeah, so we could
it's a
go
bucket
on.
list. You have to go. And I tell anyone. I mean, it's kind of now bad, kind of to go, but um, you know, it's. I'm trying to put. I can't put into words when you see it, and you sit there and you smell it, you see it, you touch it, and you go 4,000, 5,000 years ago,
It's incredible.
and it's like, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever been to Texas, and it's like, okay, and like Texas Stadium, right? If you're ever driving on the 10 or whatever, right? And it's like you can see it, and it's like, and you can still see it, and you can still see it, and you can still see it. And then you see it, and it's like, whoa, and you get closer, like, holy cow. The pyramids are times 10 that, I mean, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
It's
how?
incredible.
It's incredible, man. It to me it was, and ever since then, I've been fascinated with the Egyptian culture. You know, it's been, so that's where, Anubis, which Anubis is, basically the god of death, which is he's kind of like Snoop Dogg, right? You always see him as a man, but he has a
Hmm.
dog face, like a Doberman Pinscher,
Yeah.
which my dog. And so, but yeah, all of the names of all of my snakes are based around Egyptian gods. So it depends if you're in, the you know the first uh, the first century, or how they would say it, like the which would be kind of like with the Osiris. So remember, they had different gods, which
Hmm.
were more of like and then they went from when King Tut, it was more of deities, right? So well, I don't know how to say that word, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it just depends, which is like, they have like the old, then they have like, middle and new, um, different of, so anyway, I can go for hours talking about, so
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you responding to me and giving me the time of day. And I feel like I made a new friend. Like I feel like I clicked with you right away. We have very common interests and same family values. And obviously, we both love green snakes on sticks. You don't have very many green snakes on sticks, though. I will say that you
yeah,
have a bunch of yellow snakes on sticks, blue snakes on sticks, brown, whatever. Not
yeah,
many green ones though. You got some cool shit.
I have one that's green, and he's being a punk right now. He's on a hunger strike. So,
Oh,
and that,
somebody in the room doing something?
no, I just don't know what maybe.
Is it an adult male?
Yeah, he is, but
Is he grounding himself?
nope,
Is he
nope. He
is he
just
cruising a lot at night, fucking all this shit
just
up?
cruising and skunking, I call it.
Ooh,
So
any of the females hugging the cool side?
ISIS, or nope, no, it's not ISIS. Anubis is. She is.
Is she prime ready to go?
She's gonna go with a Dave D animal.
Is she hunting more aggressively during the day? Like when you walk in the room, she whipping her head around?
Yeah, I know she's ready.
Oh my god, put one in there with her right now.
I know she's ready.
Hose her down, take her out, put him in, put her in, and walk away and watch it happen. Oh, you got me so excited. I got a lock today out of the Maniac repeat too. It's like lock number like 16. So I'm like dying right now for her to finally stop eating. I want to make more of these damn Maniacs.
Yeah, but she's still too young. She needs,
How old is she?
she's 3.5. So I want, well, no, yeah, she'll be 4.
He's thinking about it, everybody. He is thinking about it now.
She'll be 4 in May.
What is Anubis?
Oh, Anubis is, oh gosh, what is Anubis? Anubis, let me think. Anubis is,
So what I do, or what I have,
is Blue Moon, and no. Kronos and Siren from House of Blue.
oh my God. Let's
Yeah.
go.
But the so the grandsire was Blue Moon, and the grand dam was Violet, and which produced Kronos. And Kronos was paired to Siren. So Kronos is a Womena times 2 times Mano. And Siren, and these snakes are at the House of Blue, is a Jayapura. So it's basically a Womena times Mano times Jayapura, which is Anubis.
Hell yeah.
And then Horus is from Dave D, and it's he paired it to, which was Blue Boy times the Bushmaster New Blue female.
Oh my God.
So it's a VD animal.
That's a lot of blue shit. That's
Yeah,
a
it's a
lot of blue stuff going
Yeah.
back generations.
And I just recently started showing pictures of her. She's been kind of like sitting back, but and everyone's just gotten a little bit excited about that one. But
You got
I
some
have
cool names for your snakes too.
Yeah,
My kids name my snakes.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
But I have a showstopper. I haven't posted it. I have a guy, right, that I got from Garrett, a boy, and I named him Ramsey II. And I'll spill it. I haven't showed pictures of him, but I'll spill it. He's from Kronos and Violet. So Kronos was so basically Kronos was paired back to his mother. So it's super concentrated.
Oh yeah, that's the best ones, man.
So
keep it right.
And yeah, so things are cooking. Just I bought my clutch very young, so I basically raised everything besides 3 of them. Everything else, everything that I've gotten from the House of Blue, I got them as Neos. So
wow, that's a lot of waiting, man. That's really the right way to do it. Honestly, that's the fastest way to the finish line.
Yeah, and it's more rewarding, like you said. You was just like, hey, you raise your stuff and you do it, like you said. Everyone has said that, across the board. It's.
I have been able to experience it. I've never purchased a Neo ever.
No.
I mean, yeah, all my stuff is fresh imports, other than self-produced stuff. And I have one, but it was already an adult, and that was it was from Garrick DeMeyer. That was my very first green tree back in 2020, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Everything's been subadult, juvenile.
So 2020 was that like that was COVID, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when I got my first one.
Me too. Yeah.
Telling you, brother, we're connected at the hip.
Man, yeah, that was
We even look alike. People get us mixed up all the time.
They do. I don't know what the fuck. It's like you got a fucking problem with it? Hey.
Yeah.
Just
Go
because
talk,
our
go,
accent- it's
go
like maybe
talk
our
to my
accent.
bigger twin, motherfucker. He'll whoop your ass. He's 6'5", I'm 5'6", bitch. Oh shit. Well, listen, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna throw you backstage. Feel free to hang out if you want to. I'll be back here in a few. I'm gonna give these closing statement, all that stuff, and I'll see you soon, man.
All right, bro.
All right. Thanks for coming on, bro. I really appreciate it. It's ain't gonna be the first time, or sorry, it could be the last time, because I know that Lucas is gonna be a little bit jealous when he watches this one. So take care, brother.
What's up, Lucas?
You beat Lucas. He's my friend. All right, Steve. Take care.
All right.
Thanks again, brother.
All right, I'll hang back.
Yep. All right, everyone. Oh, my voice cracked. That was weird. So I'm sorry if I screwed this one up. I know Lucas is the man. He's the boss. I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can. So sorry if the technical stuff wasn't great. I can't get my damn mic straight. But yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, you have any, drop them in the comment section below. If you want to reach out to Steve, I would definitely encourage you to follow his page. He's got great stuff. He's it's all positive stuff, no bullshit. He's good. He's a good dude. I consider him a friend now. We only met a few days ago, but I do. He's a good guy. As you can see from this episode, he's a good breeder. He's got his head on straight, and I'm excited to see what he's going to make in the future. It seems like he's a real set goal that won't be easily influenced by anybody else other than himself or his wife. I know he's afraid of his wife, he said, just like I am. So listen, y'all take care and rock on. Thanks for listening.